1.
Good evening. Welcome to the City Council meeting for Tuesday, February 20th, 2024. Mrs. Hilbrook, will you please call roll?
Yes, sir. Councilman De La Garza?
I am present.
Councilwoman Solis? Here. Mary Lake Crocker?
Here.
Councilwoman Scott?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Young?
Here.
Councilman Lofgren?
Here.
And Mayor Bauknight.
If everyone will please rise for the pledges, followed by a moment of silence. Thank you. All right, we're going to do a little bit different on the agenda tonight. We're going to go into public and employee recognitions first, followed by the administration of the oath, and then come back up for announcements and reminders. And during that time, also like to take a photo. Maybe we can do that first.
Yeah, that'd be
Okay.
great. We can do the picture.
So if
as
y'all will
well.
bear with us, we're going to take a photo real quick. All right.
We could also, as part of this, Duane, you can also hand this to Jeff,
Okay.
since we'd like these to be in the picture as well. Yeah. Yeah, and we took pictures of that before the meeting, so it would be fine. Pick a side, Mark. Yeah, one more.
Yeah. I'll try not to break this. So, Mayor Bauknight, obviously at this point, this is no longer a surprise. But want to say thank you for the sacrifices you made, for the work you put in for the city. We know that you have a busy agenda this evening, and I take, I think, privilege to say it's been a pleasure to serve with you. So,
Thank you.
thank you.
Appreciate that, Mayor-elect. Mayor. And a quick thank you to everybody. I do have an event I have to go to tonight, and if it's okay with you, I'd like to come back on March 5th and just address everybody.
Absolutely. I
Okay.
insist that you do.
Okay.
And let me give you this also,
Okay.
so it's in the photos. Very nice shadow box with your gavel, some photos from your time on council, and some other mementos. So
Great.
thank you so much.
I'll get the patches.
His patches.
You want?
Sorry.
Thank you. This is a fire EMS patch, police patch, emergency management patch.
And there you go.
Thank you.
You betcha. Thank you.
Congratulations. You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
So at this time, we'll transition to the swearing in. So Mayor-elect, if you wouldn't mind staying up front, and
Will.
April Hilberg, City Secretary, would be administering the oath.
No backing out now.
No, backing out. Okay.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, and state your name,
I, Duane Crocker,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute the duties
that I will faithfully execute the duties
of the office of mayor for the city of Victoria
of the office of mayor for the city of Victoria,
and will to the best of my ability
and will to the best of my ability
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws of the United States
the Constitution and laws of the United States
and of this state,
and of this state.
and so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Now, I think you did prepare a 20-minute speech, right?
I've cut it down to 30 minutes, so. So then let us go back then to Mr. Garza, announcements and reminders.
Absolutely. Good evening, Mayor and council members. It's quite the party in here this evening.
And I'm stuck here.
We weren't invited.
Fair point. Fair
So I'm actually going to very quickly run through a recognition, since we did just, of course, do the recognition to Mayor Bauknight before I get into announcements. But I did want to recognize our Victoria Public Library, and I know Jessica, Library Director, is here, for receiving the Texas Municipal Library Directors Association 2023 Achievement of Excellence in Libraries Award. This is the second year in a row that our Victoria Library has won this award, one of only 84 libraries in the state of Texas to be awarded this year. And it's become routine that our departments receive these recognitions, and I think that's a testament to our staff's dedication to professional development, but more importantly, their dedication to the public and the outstanding customer service and services that we offer. And so, Jessica, thank you for your leadership, and council, thank you for your support for our library. And it's awesome that other entities are recognizing how awesome it is. So congratulations. On the announcement front, we want to remind the public that tomorrow morning, we will be conducting our groundbreaking ceremony for our new public safety headquarters located at 2525 North Main Street. If you pop that in on Google, it probably won't come up yet, but that is located right across from the Pet Resort, and that'll take place at 9 a.m. The southbound lane of Main Street closest to the property will be closed in order to accommodate some of the traffic that we anticipate leading up to the event. Very exciting day for us tomorrow. More to come on that then. On behalf of the Environmental Services Department and Keep Victoria Beautiful, we want to remind the public that we continue to seek volunteers for a cleanup in the north part of the Silver City neighborhood on Saturday, February 24th at 9 a.m. Individuals and groups who would like to volunteer are encouraged to register in advance at victoriatx.gov/KVB. Additionally, residents near the intersection of Callis and Odom Streets of Silver City who need assistance with moving heavy items to the curb for pickup during this cleanup can notify Environmental Services at victoriatx.gov/environmental services or by calling 361-485-3230. On behalf of Municipal Court, during February, the Municipal Court will be hosting additional court dockets for people to resolve their past due citations and active warrants. These sessions are part of Warrant Resolution Month, a yearly effort to allow those with outstanding warrants to speak with the municipal court judge or prosecutor to discuss resolution options. Community service or reduced fines may be available. Please visit victoriatx.gov/municipal court to search for your active warrants or past due citations. For more information, contact the municipal court at 361-485-3050. Additionally, as has become customary, our municipal court, in partnership with Nazareth Academy, will host a mock trial on Monday, March 4th at 9 a.m. here in Municipal Court Chambers. And that's a really neat event as it allows our community's youth from Nazareth to learn more about municipal court and be interacting with our judge and staff. On behalf of the Parks Department, we want to invite the public to weekend 2 of the TAF Winter Games, which will be held on February 24th and 25th. This weekend will include flag football, golf, and youth fast pitch softball. and they're expected to bring over 1,100 athletes plus their families into town. And so we're excited to be hosting the TAF Winter Games once again. And that is all I have for this evening.
Very good, thank you. We've covered the one public and employee recognition that was on the agenda. Do you have any further public or employee recognitions?
No, sir.
Okay. Then we will scroll down, and this is the inaugural items from council that I'm going to ask for. Does anyone have anything?
Sorry to disappoint.
Yeah, no worries. We'll have to work on that for March 5th. So, okay, item B5 then is citizen communication. And I have two green cards, Woodrow Wilson Wagner. And just a reminder, our citizens communication would be limited to 3 minutes, please. Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you, sir. Good afternoon. My name is Woodrow Wilson Wagner, and I'm here to express my thanks to two fellow Aggies for their service to this community. Our outgoing mayor, Jeff Bauknight, and our incoming mayor, Duane Crocker. As Aggies, we are sometimes the butt of various jokes and punchlines. Yet, as Jeff and Duane have demonstrated in their public service, we are also committed to something called the Aggie Honor Code. We don't lie, we don't cheat, we don't steal, and we don't tolerate those who do so. A few weeks ago, I wrote a column about being true servants to all those in need and stated that our next mayor needed to be a servant leader in thought, word, and deed. Paving roads are important, yet our city leaders must have a servant's heart to pave a path of progress through listening, empathy, awareness, and stewardship. Servant leaders listen to all their constituents, not just the ones who agree with them. Indeed, I've stood at this very podium and have disagreed with Jeff and Duane a few times. Yet I always felt respected and listened to. Just at our last meeting, Mayor Bauknight listened patiently and empathetically to a citizen over a quandary over a demolition issue. Real empathy requires humility, not the faux humbleness manufactured by social media, yet a real effort to step back and make it not all about oneself. Jeff and Duane are not social media personalities. They are real human beings who are truly empathic to the needs of their citizens. Politicians often use cliches like, I see you and I stand for you, yet sometimes they are tone deaf to the realities of their constituencies. Servant leaders like Jeff and Duane understand that Victoria is not San Francisco, is not Austin, is not New York, and it never will be. Conservative Judeo-Christian values abound here, and they do inform our civic and personal actions. Jeff and Duane embrace our actual identity and don't shame or cancel people who disagree with them. The best servant leaders like Jeff and Duane are products of the very communities they serve, and they want to give something back to the next generations that follow in the same community. As I said, when I was a youngster, a nun named Sister Leonita Barone taught me a song that would inspire me for the rest of my life. Make us true servants to all those in need, filled with compassion in thought, word, and deed, loving our neighbor, whatever the cost, feeding the hungry, and finding the lost. Thank you, Jeff Bauknight and Duane Crocker, for being true servants to this community. Whoop and gig 'em, so say we all.
Thank you, Mr. Wagner, appreciate it. And I will confirm that the official mayoral color will remain maroon. So. Mr. Vonderau.
Good evening, Mayor Crocker and City Council. Congratulations, Mr. Crocker. I'm Michael Vondro. I live at 2204 East North Street. Across the street from Petty Welder, people are illegally dumping lots of clothes. They don't put them in bags or anything, and they've been doing this the last several months, and they're not doing the community a favor. You know, they get all wet and mildewed and stuff, and I wish someone could put some cameras up and see who's doing that so they could get a ticket, but I wish that would stop because it's right across from Patty Welder and people are poor and they need clothes and they're not doing anyone a favor. They could take it inside or take it to the school. And I also want to wish Mayor Bauknight his good luck on his new career and thanks for his service. And want to thank Mike for the dog park and the duck pond. It looks really good. Thanks, and have a good evening. And good luck again.
Thank you, Mr. Vanderwall. And those are the two cards that I have, and so we will move along then to item C, which has no items with public hearings, so that takes us to item D, the consent agenda. Ms. Hilbert, will you please read that for us?
Yes, sir. Item D1 is the adoption of minutes of the regular meeting on February 6, 2024, and the special meeting on February 13, 2024. Item D2 is an ordinance increasing solid waste fees for hazardous household waste pickup, and that item is on second and third reading. Item D3 is a resolution approving an amendment to the 2023 residential street maintenance project contract with the City of Victoria and Clark Construction of Texas Incorporated. Item D4 is a resolution approving an amendment to the Crestwood Drive Reconstruction Project Phase 3, which is Main to North to Navarro, contract between the City of Victoria and Clark Construction of Texas Incorporated. Item D5 is a resolution approving an amendment to the Dairy Road Reconstruction Project from Salem Road to Whispering Creek, contract with the City of Victoria and Clark Construction of Texas Incorporated. Item D6 is a resolution amending the reinvestment zone number 1 or downtown TERS bylaws. Item D7 is a resolution ratifying an emergency construction contract with J&R Contracting Services Incorporated for the Callis Street sanitary sewer line replacement in the amount of $235,420. And item D8 is a resolution authorizing the redemption of a portion of the outstanding City of Victoria, Texas General Obligation Refunding Bond Series 2013A and City of Victoria, Texas Certificates of Obligation Series 2014 during the city's 2023-2024 fiscal year.
Thank you, Ms. Hilbert. I will entertain any motions regarding the consent agenda.
Make a motion to accept or approve the consent agenda as read.
Motion for approval?
Second.
And a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Action E, or item E, action items for council. There's none. Mr. Garza, you've taken it easy on me this evening, I see. Thank you.
You're
Ball
welcome.
meeting.
I'm going to say, you know.
Wait for executive session.
So that takes us to city manager's reports. Number 1 is the Victoria Main Street Program 2023 Annual Report. Hello, Ms. Garcia.
Hello.
How are you?
Good evening, Mayor, Council. It is my pleasure to speak clearly into a microphone tonight to present to you the Victoria Main Street Program Annual Report for 2023. First, I would like to begin by presenting the team that is Main Street Program. The Main Street Program is a division of the Economic Development Department that is directed by Danielle Williams. Myself, Kate Garcia, I'm the Main Street Manager. Kristen Kopecki is our very talented downtown coordinator. And the newest member of our team is Miss Elena Aleman. She joined us August of 2023 as our administrative assistant. We look to expand this team by 2 in 2024 by bringing on 2 dedicated operations employees to specifically help us maintain the downtown area and Main Street boundaries. We also have a nonprofit arm to Main Street Program. Tonight, we have Pamela Edge with us. She is our president. Along with several other very talented and very deeply knowledgeable individuals that make up our board of currently 10, but I will take this opportunity for a shameless plug to say that we have 3 seats available on the Main Street Board. And if you are interested in serving, details about what it takes to serve on this board, eligibility requirements, et cetera, is available at victoriamainstreet.org. We are currently looking for 3 board members to join this distinguished board. We are guided by a mission statement That is through leadership and the use of the Main Street program. The Victoria Main Street program will ensure that downtown contributes to the community's overall quality of life by providing opportunities for economic growth as well as for entertainment and personal enjoyment. Now, we are a division, so our parent company, or our parent organization is Main Street America. So we are then filtered through the Texas Historical Commission that manages Keep Texas Beautiful, that's a different, Main Street of Texas, and then filtered down to Victoria Main Street program. The Main Street mission statement is accomplished by following 4 pillars that you see before you. That's economic vitality, promotions, organization, and design. And we'll start by diving into the economic vitality. That is a process that uses capital incentives and other economic and financial tools to help businesses and property development. I wanted to share, this is an overview of the fabric of Main Street as of 2023. You'll see that, I'm going to use the fancy new pointer that James showed me. You'll see that it is predominantly comprised of professional services. This is law, this is some real estate, this is CPA offices and such. But you'll see that we are expanding in diversity by adding, there was 23 retail spaces. We've got 10 restaurants downtown now. We have an expanded arts and culture scene, and it's ever expanding. And so downtown is starkly different in its fabric as it was 5 years ago, and still expanding. Further into economic vitality, I wanted to share a comparison of the 2022 visitor demographics and the 2023 visitor demographics. These demographics were pulled from the Buxton Mobility software that we use. You'll see the top age groups that are attracted to downtown is 36 to 45 and 51 to 65-year-olds. You'll see the top income groups that visit downtown is about 50,000 to 75,000 and 125,000 to 50,000 income earners. And you'll see that the household size is 1 to 2, which we're attracting predominantly singles and couples. Now you compare that to 2023, and you'll see that we've broadened our demographics and we're attracting a more diverse audience to the downtown area. You'll see that we have now added 76-plus-year-olds, and we've also added an additional income level. We're still targeting, we're not targeting them, but we're attracting singles and couples. I'll go into detail about what we're trying to do to target and even further diversify our demographics of 2023. But it's exciting to see that we are expanding and broadening that demographic range. Now to dive into reinvestment report for 2023, the reinvestment is business owners, property owners investing in their brick and mortar to increase or stabilize their property values. The total reinvestment for 2023 is just under $4.5 million. And you'll see that that's an increase of almost 156 from 2022, where we were just slightly over $1.5 million in reinvestment in 2022. I wanted to show kind of a trending graph starting in 2020 to 2023. You'll see that we're pretty steady with reinvestment until you see a spike in 2023. So to kind of further granulate and break that down, the public investment is slightly over $3.5 million for 2023. Your public investment. Your private investment is slightly under $500,000, and your public and private reinvestment is just over $200,000. And that looks like a facade grant or a building improvement grant in which private property owners and public partner together for their reinvestment. I wanted to drill down and give some examples of notable reinvestment projects in 2023. This is the City of Victoria De Leon expansion project. Projects like the Victoria County rehabilitation of 115 North Bridge Street. This is a remodel of the second floor of 113 East Constitution. That's the old Victoria Advocate Building. Prosperity Bank made some notable reinvestments and renovations at 101 North Main. And Razor Constitution LLC is planning a remodel at 207 East Constitution. That's Great Brothers. I promise we won't stay on economic vitality, but these numbers are just really great to share to show just how much downtown is growing and diversifying. So total number of businesses in 2023 stood at 158. Total started in 2022 was 82, and I'll explain that number in just a second. But as contrast to 2023, we only had 15 start. Now, when I say that 82 businesses started, that's not brick and mortar businesses. Those are small business owners popping up inside of incubator businesses such as Peaches and Tortilla, such as Mother Cluckers downtown. We're seeing success in these businesses starting in these incubator type brick and mortars and spinning out into their own brick and mortars, staying and retaining that business in downtown. And you'll also see a decrease in available space. We are attracting so many new businesses to start that as available space diminishes, so does that number of business starts, but that's a good thing. So we are excited to keep growing and keep attracting new businesses. The total number of jobs in 2023 stood at 2,271. Total created in 2022 was 63, as contrasted to 19 in 2023. Now that includes both full-time and part-time positions, and the trend will match the same as businesses started. As we decrease in space available, you'll see a small decrease in the jobs created. Promotions. So promotions is a fun one. This is events. Briefly, promotions focuses on promoting downtown as a center of commerce, culture, and community life for residents and visitors alike. And I broke the events down into 5 categories, and I wanted to compare 2022 to 2023 again. So we have networking events, live music events, education classes, community events, and arts and culture. So you'll see that we have 145 total events in 2022. This kind of blew my mind a little bit when I was putting this report together, because in 2023, we jump up to 878 total events in the downtown area, with our 2 highest increased categories being live music and community events. Now, I want to take a couple of opportunities to mention that this is not solely City of Victoria employees going out and hosting events, although we do have a library that hosts a large number of quality community events and educational classes. But this is the business owners. This is the event organizers believing in the master plan, and we are seeing it in the numbers here at this presentation today, that what was laid out in the master plan and what we're slowly working towards is working. And so I really wanted to commend the event organizers and the business owners for 878 events. If, that just, again, it just boggled my mind. Some of those events that occurred last year, I wanted to highlight a few of them. A few of them are unique. Recurring, we have our top left is our Christmas tree lighting ceremony. That fell on the same day as the Art Walk in 2023. We saw an increased attendance and a more diversified audience than we've seen in the past. That was great timing to have those 2 events complement each other. You'll see Peaches and Tortilla, their pumpkin patch, their annual pumpkin patch that pops up on Constitution Street every October as a beloved community event. You'll see our furry friends are also welcome downtown with moonshine. They have their annual St. Patrick's Day paw tea. Mother Cluckers recently implemented their parking lot parties. They held them approximately once quarterly. It was 4 times a year. You'll see it was a smashing success. A great community event that engaged surrounding business owners. And I wanted to specifically talk about the middle event. It's one that we haven't really seen in the past before, and it's exciting to see how it's going to grow in the future. This is a C&J Productions fashion show. It's typically held on the same day as an art walk, and what happens is that the folks behind C&J Productions put together a fashion show literally down the middle of Constitution Street, and it is a professional production that engages all of the surrounding boutiques of downtown to put on this one-of-a-kind show in the middle of our downtown. And I think it's very unique, and you definitely don't want to miss the next one. They typically benefit a community organization in financial need, so they cover all the bases when it comes to being a unique event. Organization, this is where it gets super exciting. So organization creates a shared vision that converts the Main Street program's mission into clear goals, defines the organization's role in revitalizing the downtown or commercial corridor using an approach that fits the neighborhood and builds a structure for the board and staff. A lot of this is talk about processes, policies, and procedures. And with that stark increase in events, we went back and reviewed some of those to be more effective, be easier for event organizers to accomplish their goals. And some of that looks like establishing an entertainment district. A high level of what that accomplished was visitors are allowed to carry alcoholic beverages within the district. Think more like Fredericksburg. But you, of course, need to stay in compliance with all associated federal and state laws and TABC requirements. This also allows shop owners and restaurants to activate the sidewalks in front of their establishments for temporary seating, displays, et cetera, as well as street blocking for events within the district. We've also standardized our street blocking outside of De Leon Plaza. So staff partnered with downtown stakeholders to develop a series of standardized street blocking maps for various locations. Santa Rosa Street, lovingly dubbed T-Zone, is your Main Street and Santa Rosa intersection that gets engaged for moderately sized events, and Constitution Street. We've updated the itinerant vendor ordinance to reflect and include the entertainment district. We removed De Leon Plaza from the verbiage because De Leon Plaza is inside the entertainment district. And the ordinance waives the itinerant vendor requirements for specific city-owned properties. Main Street meetups were also increased. Staff created and implemented Main Street meetups. These meetings are held multiple times a year with the intent to provide a space for stakeholders to gather, build relationships between each other as well as the city staff. These forums are a safe place for stakeholders to discuss issues, create partnerships, and have easy access to staff on a regular basis. Currently, these are held quarterly. They're hosted by a business within the Main Street boundaries, and the time varies depending on when that host has availability to host it. But we do tend to, we communicate that out to the entire stakeholder group when those will be, and the attendance is growing. And so we really like to see those business owners get together and brainstorm. Design. So this is probably the most visual and easy to see difference in. Design explores the range of issues that impact the physical characteristics of a downtown. So in 2023, we purchased bistro sets and umbrellas for the City Hall courtyard to make it more inviting, as well as service the restaurants that surround it. As I mentioned, we have 10 restaurants, probably more in 2024, and this provides them a nice place to sit outside, get more familiar with City Hall, and I saw a gentleman out on his laptop today, just relaxing and working. It was great to see. We've also, if you noticed, removed some shrubbery at City Hall that will be later replaced with some nice decorative landscaping. You'll also notice some nice gold and black benches outside that will eventually be placed throughout Main Street downtown for folks to enjoy all of the parking lot parties and events, all of the 887 events that occur downtown. And we've also spiffed up some of the planters and the trash cans to make them more appealing. One really big design project that I'm not going to go into too much detail with because Danielle will go deeper into it, but design is, the De Leon expansion project is a big design project for us in the Main Street. So very quickly, like I said, the project start date was July 2023. The anticipated completion date will be March 2024. Weather, cooperate with us, please. Amenities, our permanent performance facility. You'll see a new public restroom facility. There are 2 new seating areas, a shaded pergola area with water features incorporated into the seat wall, and a seat wall featuring statues, encapsulating, I should say, statues of the founders of Martin de Leon and Patricia de la Garza. An improved ADA accessibility throughout the plaza, and renovation of the bandstand. So I wanted to detail some goals for 2024. Those include develop programming for 18 to 25-year-old demographic. We saw that that was one age range that was lacking. So we're focusing on developing and broadening that age gap to include 18 to 25-year-olds. Increase engagement with collegiate students. So that feeds back into the 18 to 25-year-old programming. Who better to tell us what they want than the 18 to 25-year-olds? So we're working to engage more collegiate students to provide input and guidance. Bicentennial support. Staff will work closely with CVB to support operations and logistics throughout the year. Oh, I had another one. Here we go. De Leon Plaza reservation. I went too fast. So Victoria Main Street program will work closely with Parks and Recreation Department to transition the De Leon Plaza reservation process to the Main Street program. And as I mentioned earlier, we're looking at hiring 2 full-time maintenance employees that will be dedicated strictly to the Victoria Main Street program boundaries. And we will continue increasing parking opportunities through shared parking agreements and possibly exploring some mechanisms to better maintain and manage our pre-existing parking infrastructure. And with that, I thank you.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions?
I do. I know that currently, if you're going to want to rent the gazebo, you would go to Parks and Recreation.
Yes, ma'am.
Is the podium or the stage going to be available for renting in any future time? Or how is that going to work?
Yes, ma'am. Once the plaza is completed and officially open for rental, all of the facilities will be available for rental through Main Street Program. You'll contact Main Street Program, and then we'll help guide you through the process.
Okay, thank you.
One question I had on your number 4 live music events. Does that include, for example, if a bar has a happy hour on a Thursday night and brings a band in, does that include that type of event or that type of promotion?
Yes, sir. The live music will include the parking lot parties. It'll include Greeks every time they have a live performance, 5D every time they have a musician. So that's all included in that live music event. Yes, sir.
Got it. Okay, thank you. Any other questions?
Great job.
Yeah?
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you and appreciate the work you and your team put in. Y'all are doing a great job.
Thank you, sir.
So our next city manager report is listed as F2, Economic Development Department 2023. Ms. Williams, how are you?
I'm good. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Looking forward to presenting the 2023 Annual Report for Economic Development. First of all, I just want to give hats off to Kate and her presentation and all the hard work that they've been doing with Kristen. They do a great job, and I thank them very much. So we'll dive in. I'm going to talk about mission, retail recruitment, citywide development projects, notable projects, and future goals. So the mission of economic development is to foster the growth and through collaboration and innovation for the continued prosperity of our community. And another nice picture of the team. So as part of my annual job, more or less, is I work on and focus on retail recruitment. So attending ICSC Las Vegas last year, we attended Retail Live, and those are conferences where you can go and actually speak to the folks that develop strip centers, brokers, you name it, all of the above. So we try to present Victoria in a nice way that will want them to come to Victoria and develop and bring their retailer or restaurant or shop to Victoria. And so we visited with 29 retailers last year, and we had 5 retailers open or are opening, 5 retailers still showing interest, and 19 ongoing contacts with follow-up calls. As far as citywide development projects, this number is pulled from the permit data through Development Services. There was over 1,000 development projects across the city, and that resulted in an $83 million public-private investment. So you can tell just from those numbers that we continue to grow. And here's an interesting slide I wanted to present is the project timeline. So I'll go into more depth on some of these projects, but it kind of gives you an idea on some of these shops and stores that are either under construction or announced that they're coming. And I try to keep track of all this data throughout the year to show that we have stuff moving to Victoria and they are opening and being very successful. A few notable projects here. I wanted to focus a little bit on the Spring Creek Medical Plaza. It's going to be a new family practice, and it began construction in 2022. And that features the new Ventura's restaurant and a new medical facility, and also the VA clinic, which I am very excited about. I think that is something that has been needed in this community for some time, and they are scheduled to be open in 2024, this year. Here are a few pictures of that family medical practice. It's scheduled to be open soon. A nice conceptual design of the VA clinic. And then moving on, we've got other notable projects with Murdoch's, the Billy T. Catan, Hope Ranch, and VicTech. So these I wanted to touch on because they were all incentivized in some shape or form through the Victoria Sales Tax Development Corporation that some of y'all may be aware of because you serve on that board. And just to talk a little bit about Murdoch's, it began construction in the previous Sears home store in the mall, and it was all possible through a 380 agreement with Victoria Mall and Victoria Sales Tax Development Corporation. And when Murdoch's opened, they quickly became #1 in sales in the state and 15 total company. This company is typically outside of the state of Texas. They just started branching into the state of Texas. I understand that one just recently opened up in College Station. There's another one in Killeen. So we feel very fortunate that Murdoch's is doing so well here in Victoria. And again, that's number 15 out of a total of 45 stores. In turn, this investment resulted in recruitment of Longhorn Steakhouse, which is scheduled to open March 18th, which I'm very excited about. Here's a few pictures of the ribbon cutting of that day when they opened in August last year. And thank you, Victoria Chamber, for doing those ribbon cuttings. Now we'll move on to the Billy T. Catan Hope Ranch. Victoria Sales Tax Development Corporation, the Billy T. Catan Recovery Outreach, entered into a 380 agreement that would reimburse them the costs to construct utilities to the property. This property is on Highway 185 near the New Texan. And in an effort to make this development possible, Billy T. Catan approached the Sales Tax Development Corporation and asked for some assistance to help bring the utilities, the city utilities, out to the new facility. And so they were able to come to an agreement, and this will result in a 35,700 square foot facility, residential facility, with 20 male treatment beds, 20 female treatment beds, and 12 combined. It's the first inpatient detoxification and rehabilitation program in Victoria and surrounding counties. So, as you know, Victoria is a hub for a lot of our medical services and industry. This will also serve that same purpose for folks to come to Victoria and get the services that they need. It's going to include admin offices, counseling offices, group and family rooms, dining rooms, kitchen showers, childcare area, which is very important for females needing assistance, and nursing station activity rooms will all be included in this new facility. So here's a nice conceptual design of that building, Hope Ranch. Another image does come complete with an HEB community room. I did confirm that they are one of the top sponsors to help this capital project. Okay, and moving on. VicTech. VicTech broke ground on phase 1 of a new manufacturing site in Lone Tree Industrial Park. This opportunity was made possible through Victoria Economic Development Corporation and Jonas and Sharon and his team, and the Victoria Sales Tax Development Corporation. The facility will be a 50,000 square foot warehouse, and will have 20 jobs, and it's scheduled to be completed this year in 2024. And that's out there near Caterpillar if you're not familiar with the industrial park. Other projects and initiatives. Some of you may be aware that in early 2023, we completed the Victoria Economic Development Strategic Plan through Newmark Consultants. It also made recommendations for 9 regional counties, because this was a collaboration with our VEDC, and they are taking more of a regional approach, so this will also assist them in their efforts from a regional approach in helping folks grow economic-wise in their smaller communities. Implementation of this plan has begun, and it is going to take several partners to help pull off a lot of the tasks that are in that sort of master plan, if you will. And the Victoria Sales Tax Development Corporation also created their new plan of work based off of the recommendations from the strategic plan. So it's really helped align a lot of the goals and objectives for even the Sales Tax Board to take initiatives. Midcoast Construction Academy. I wanted to highlight this one because this is very important for our local students wanting to branch off into the trades. So Victoria Sales Tax Development Corporation and the Workforce Solutions partnered to file for a matching grant to support the local Midcoast Construction Academy. We all applied for the grant and were just recently awarded the grant through the Texas Workforce Commission. And right now they have 34 high school pre-apprentices, 28 electrical, and 6 for HVAC. And next fall they anticipate another large group of students, 65 students, from all the way to Hallettsville, St. Joseph, Cuero, East, and West High School. Very, very valuable program for the students. So, DeLeon Plaza. I wanted to take a moment and give more of a detailed update on what is going on with the construction currently. It is going very smoothly, and I would like to thank Logger and all of his subcontractors for their speedy construction work that they have done thus far. Again, please pray for rain after April 13th. That would be very much appreciated. But it is going very smoothly. They have poured a lot of the concrete in the main promenade area, if you will. They're getting ready to pour that same concrete that's right there in the middle of the water feature. Fun fact, I'm going to back up a little bit. About 95% of the folks and contractors that are working on this project are local. And so that is another demonstration of economic development just coming full circle, if you will. So very proud to say that we have local folks working on this project. We look to still be done in March in time for the April 13th bicentennial celebration. And it's getting very close to being done. They already have all of the fixtures inside the restroom. The restroom is heated and cooled. It's very pleasant in there. I've been told it's one of our nicer restrooms, and so I like to call it our little Buc-ee's in downtown.
I went in there today, and it's really nice.
It's very nice. It is very nice. So we look forward to having that, especially during large events, to have a nice place to go to the restroom. We look to fire up the water fountain at the end of March this year. And the tile and all of the color selections look really nice. Everything in there is just going to look really nice. If you may have noticed, they recently opened up the southern half of the plaza, so you can access the new sod and the new park benches, but very soon we'll open up the other side closer to the end of March and be able to see it all in its glory. So the park benches and everything look really nice, and it's coming along very nicely. And I have a little video. So this video comes all the way to about last week. I think it comes up all the way, time lapses to about last week. Very impressive to see them work in such a tight space. There you go. DeLeon Plaza expansion. Future goals for economic development. Continue to be the development ombudsman for small and large businesses. Become one of the top 10 places to start a business in the state of Texas. And I think based off of Kate's presentation, we're headed in that direction, especially for small businesses. Be the economic incentives lead for the city of Victoria and identify the all developable land and potential uses within the city of Victoria and the ETJ. And I want to take a quick moment and thank all of the partners that help with all the economic development with this slide here. Do you have any questions for me?
Any questions? No.
Thank you very much. Good job on your report and appreciate your work.
Good job.
Thank you, Danielle. I will briefly say that, we're running through these annual reports for both Main Street and economic development like it's no big deal. But if we simply just think to 5 years ago, the city wasn't involved really with either of these two things to the extent that we are now, right? So the fact that we are now, seeing the fruits of that labor and simply just accepting and realizing that this is part of our role to enhance livability in Victoria, to be involved with these things, and it's just become part of our day-to-day normal business, I take that as a compliment, because there were a lot of people that asked questions why we were wanting to get involved with this 5 years ago, but now we're beginning to see, the why, right? And so thank you for the support in that regard.
It's good to put it all into one report too, because there are a lot of things going on, but I don't always connect that they're related to each other in these particular ways. This one is related to economic development, as is this. So these reports are very helpful.
Right, and your point is well taken. Those of us that are downtown, we see the businesses, we kind of get used to the new businesses, but even being down here and seeing those new businesses, those numbers were really surprising. I mean, very impressive, really impressive, so. Very good.
Well, and 2024 is only going to get better, and so I'll use this as a segue, if that's all right, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, please.
To turn it over to Joel, who will spearhead an update on what is happening in 2024 as we look to celebrate our bicentennial.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Thank you for having me. I'm excited tonight to be giving you all a comprehensive update for everything that we have planned for our bicentennial year. It's just been a fascinating process working behind the scenes, working with so many great departments and community partners to have a truly special year for Victoria. The capital projects that you're seeing, the De Leon Plaza expansion is just a huge thing for this community and really helping us in our preparations for the bicentennial and the kind of events that we're drawing and going to be having in our community this year. So a little bit about what we're doing right now. So what have we been doing so far and what's been going on? I can tell you that the guided trolley tours of Old Victoria are incredibly popular. As of when I did this presentation last week, we were sold out through July already. We're doing those once a month, and really the only months that have an appreciable amount of tickets left are pretty much November and December. So incredibly popular. I want to thank Victoria Preservation. You can see Director Jeff Wright in the picture for guiding our first tour in January. I was on that personally, as well as the tour in February, which my Assistant Director Liz was on. They both went very well. We received rave comments from all attendees. I included a walking tour. It started with a walking tour of Victoria County Courthouse, then transitioned to a guided tour of our Old Victoria driving tour on one of the beautiful trolleys from Texas Coast Limousines. And then it finished with a lunch at the Pump House, and all of this was included in the ticket price. So again, very popular, and we've heard questions from the community. Are y'all only doing it this year? The answer to that is no. We are going to be continuing this following the bicentennial year, still working on what the schedule of that might look like and what the programming might look like. But it's just been so popular, and it's just been a joy and a treat to provide the community that we're going to continue doing it after the bicentennial year. So if you're out there and you're listening and you haven't got tickets yet and you're thinking about it, buy them now and mark your calendars for either like November or December, because that's pretty much what we have left right now. Speaking of capital projects, a lot of excitement in the community for the duck pond as well as the dog park. Now, those are both technically completed and open, but we will be looking at having some exciting ribbon cuttings in the coming weeks. Thursday, March 14th, during spring break, we will have the ribbon cutting for the duck pond, followed by a kids fishing camp. I can tell you another one that sold out in about 12 hours. We had 50 spots completely free. We're providing poles, bait, volunteers to help the children, and 50 spots were gone by the time I got to work the next morning. So again, a really excitement that you can see in our community with our bicentennial year. And then a date that's still being finalized for March for the dog park ribbon cutting, and we have a very special event designed around that as well. It'll be a ribbon cutting, and it's a day of fun and community gathering. So creating programming around and really making some fanfare around those openings of those capital projects long awaited in our community. Speaking of capital projects, Martin De Leon and Patricia De La Garza statue project. Going along very well, very smoothly. The statues are currently in Bulverde at the foundry. I've spoken to the owner, Larry Stevens. They should be ready for pouring into the bronze. Right now, they are in the wax molds. Then they'll be cast and plaster, and then the bronze pouring will take place sometime by the end of this month, early next or beginning of March. I will be personally going up there as well when they do that to document that with photos and video and those sort of things, because we want to do a full recap video of this entire project from start to finish. And then the granite base through Monuments Victoria should be in the week of March 18th. I'll be pushing for that to get it in the week of March 18th, as well as the statues by the end of the month, so we can get those installed and put a nice big blanket around them so people can't see them until April 13th. We want to get them there as early as possible, but we want there to be an element of surprise on April 13th. So things are moving along nicely for the De Leon statue project. Our history signage is currently going up in downtown Victoria. Shout out to the streets department. They've done a fantastic job with that. Those signs show the historic street names from Martin De Leon's colony of Guadalupe, Victoria, and those are almost done. They're pretty much through Constitution Street, just to have Forest and Goodwin remaining. They've worked south to north, so they're almost done. And, have heard a lot of feedback from folks around the community. My children go to Nazareth Academy. My wife works there, and a lot of teachers and families and stuff have seen them, and really, I've been a lot of feedback when I'm taking my daughter to school about how, they like that, and it's just creating a sense of place in downtown Victoria and appreciation for our history. So thank you to our streets department for doing such a fantastic job with that. Public art project, we've got more coming on March 16th. You can see in the left-hand corner there, the Victoria Fine Arts Association will be doing a painting of a crosswalk art themed around our bicentennial logo. That was paid for by a private donor during one of their fundraisers. But we are happy to help support that project. We really think it's going to look fantastic. It's going to be right there at the corner of another poor decision and City Hall Square. So right there, right outside these doors here, they'll be setting that up. Also, you can see in the bottom right a perspective mural of Patricia De La Garza. That's based off the portrait that the De Leon family commissioned last April. We have applied for grant funding with that, with the Texas Women in the Arts grant from the Texas Cultural Trust. We did have to have a sponsor for that. Kathleen Keating was a member of that organization, as a local sponsored that program for us. So we appreciate and thank her for that and her support. And we'll be hearing in March who the finalists are. Fingers crossed that we're one of them, because this would pay for probably a majority of the project if we can get that max amount. The funds do have to be used between June 1st of this year and May 31st of next year. So if we are able to secure enough funding, and we will be painting that sometime late summer, early fall. And a muralist has also been secured by Blanche De Leon. Her name is Anat Ronen of Houston, and she's a very prominent muralist. So that project is tentative, but seems we're optimistic about it. And that will be on the 1 O'Connor Plaza parking garage facing the library. So what a way to come into downtown Victoria to see something like that. A beautiful piece of artwork and also honoring our history. Speaking of history, we're going to be having some artifacts on display in City Hall, shooting for a March timeline on this. I want to thank VISD for agreeing us to display the sword of Martin De Leon. You see that on the far left. That's at the UHV, or it's at the Regional History Center, Victoria Regional History Center at UHV upstairs. That will be on display in City Hall, as well as the portrait of Martin De Leon. I also have the portrait of Patricia De La Garza, the original one that was commissioned by the family. That will be on display, as well as some historic cattle brands you see there. The middle one is for Martin De Leon. The left is for Sylvester De Leon, and the one on the right is for Felix De Leon. And along with some other surprise items we'll be featuring. So those will be in the City Hall throughout the remainder of the bicentennial year. We're excited to show folks just the beautiful pieces of history we have here in Victoria, as well as those, you see the gentleman with the flags there on the horses. That's a Tom Jones wood carving that's in 120 South Main. I'm currently talking with Bill Wentlet to feature some of those. So really, really old history up to a little bit more modern history, but still some pretty fascinating pieces that I think the public's going to enjoy. We're also going to be working with Band Wango our technology partner who does the You'll Love Shopping Victoria and the Tacos and Margs Trail, to do the Places and Faces of Guadalupe Victoria Townsite Tour. You'll be able to pull up to where, say, Margaret Wright lived. You'll be able to check in and you'll pull up her story, a reenactor video, a photo, those sort of things, and just be able to walk the original town site of Victoria around the City Hall Square and see where history was made and learn about these folks through a very convenient format. And of course, the great thing about being digital, we can track who's using it. So see where they're coming from and how many people we have coming from out of town and enjoying our history and using our programming that we're developing. So that launch time is looking to be in March as well. This I'm particularly proud of because it's really funny. If anyone's familiar with the Yellowstone 1883, that is taking inspiration from that. We've been working with a couple of local reenactors. 1824, a Victoria origin story, much like 1883, a Yellowstone origin story. Look that up when you get home if you're not familiar. But it's a really great, really fun event that we'll be having in Riverside Park. Reenactors from all over the state. It will be on Friday for school groups and the public, and then Saturday for the public as well. So October 18th and 19th, Riverside Park, we're still working on the planning of that. But, we've heard out in the community, historical reenactments. Are we doing anything like that Goliad has annually? We are doing that in Riverside Park, showing the life of your average settler and brave individual who came here when this was nothing but scrub brush and made a life out of it. So that's going to be a very, very cool and educational event in Riverside Park. We're going to be, of course, gauging the youth in other ways with our poster contest. Actually, the communication should be going out for that very soon, I believe. Providing cash or gift card prizes and trophies, engaging all the local schools, private and public, to participate in this. And there's some added benefits, including that the poster, your artwork, could go into a bicentennial coloring book that will be worked on. So a lot of excitement. Thank you to other city staff helping on that. But we're excited to work with the youth and get them involved in our bicentennial. Here's just a little breakdown of all the events we have going on. So much going on in our bicentennial year. Some of these have already happened. I want to give a shout out for the April 6th Chick-fil-A 5K in downtown Victoria. We're very excited about that. A lot going on. You can see April's just full of events. Downtown Rhythms and Hot Rod Tour of Texas, of course, all of it. I'll talk a little bit more about April 13th here in a second. But you can see all of these events and more at victoriatx200.com. We have a full listing of bicentennial events, but these are going to be graphics we're producing and continually updating to show what we have going on throughout our bicentennial year. Also merchandise. Y'all have some at y'all's feet this evening. So we have that in the visitor center. That's our current display there. A number of items there are for free. You can see the stuff that's sitting on the top of the counter. Stickers, buttons, enamel pins, those are completely free. Postcards, we'll be having some items for sale. You can see on the top left, it's a white flag. That's a house flag, a 3x5 house flag. You can see the small garden flag there, which all of y'all have. I hope you'll display it proudly in your yard. It also comes with a handy stake. And we'll be selling those in the visitor center as well as challenge coins. And I know y'all been seeing the T-shirts as well. Those should be coming in by the end of the month, according to Outburst Advertising, who we're purchasing those with. So more on the way, more merchandise on the way. And we'll be selling those in the visitor center online as well through Shopify. Okay, April 13th, 2024.
Make sure to take a breath.
Yeah. I don't have dry mouth yet, which is great.
It's okay. Jeff's not counting down the 15 minutes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I get that rhythm, Yeah,
It's a kinder, gentler mayor,
Okay, I can take my time. I can slow down. I got a lot of information. I got a lot I want to say.
Shots
and
fired.
I'm got that in my head, Okay, so I'm slow down a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. But I've got some friends here joining me this evening. Elizabeth Tice, our Assistant Director of the CUB, and Keisha with the City Manager's Office. Elizabeth's going to talk a little bit more about our first event that's happening on April 13th.
Do I need a clicker?
Yes.
Awesome. I don't think I talk as fast as Joel, but I might. We'll see. So I get to kick off the day with a really fun and exciting community service projects, the Victoria Day of Caring. We are working closely with United Way, UHV, a company called Just Serve, or a community program called Just Serve, and then the KVB, Christy Yoker. We've all been working really hard on this. The Victoria Day of Caring is... we're putting this on to help promote community unity by bringing residents together to help with service projects around the community. We currently have 16 service sites confirmed, with each site having several different jobs. So the goal is to get people out, doing things, volunteering, and helping in the community. Each site has different projects and different goals. Some might have some painting projects, some staining projects at the zoo, packing food boxes at the food bank. Thank you, Keisha. And then restriping parking lots, different things like that. We have all those other organizations helping out, and then volunteers are encouraged after they finish their service project to come down to the De Leon Plaza, which Joel will talk about in a minute, and join us for some party, fun, market, lots of fun things like that. We'd love to see you guys out there volunteering. We'll get you a free t-shirt. You can go to victoriadayofcaring.com to sign up and come hang out with us for a few hours on Saturday, April 13th from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m.
Thank you. And can you also elaborate on the fact that we will be, I think, still distributing t-shirts the couple days before, correct?
Yes, we will. We've partnered with the library at VPL Jams that Thursday night before. We're going to be doing our t-shirt distribution, and then possibly on Friday as well. Yeah.
And that way the volunteers on Saturday morning can report directly to their assigned site.
Like a package.
Efficiency.
Makes sense.
All right, thank you, Liz. I will talk through this a little more slowly.
I thought it was excitement.
It is excitement. It is excitement. Absolutely. Well, I am going to talk a little bit about the middle of that day, the afternoon of April 13th. Of course, the De Leon statue dedication and unveiling and the plaza and ribbon cutting. That will begin at 1 p.m. But we also want to thank Mother Cluckers. They will be having one of their very popular markets downtown, but they've agreed to, if you're familiar with their layout, they've agreed to do it around the plaza only. So it's going to be Main, Constitution, and Bridge, that U-shape surrounding the plaza, a lot of energy, a lot of synergy, and that's going to start at 10, will end at 4. They already have, I believe, over 30 vendors signed up out of probably about 150 total spaces. So it's going very, very well for them in terms of sign up, and a lot of really interesting, unique vendors. So thank you to Mother Cluckers for doing that to provide another just a lot of life and energy downtown. But the De Leon statue dedication unveiling, it will begin with some comments from the mayor, from Dutch De Leon, as well as a special dedication honoring of the De Leon, Martine and Patricia, by each descendant, by a descendant of each of the 10 children of them. So that's going to be a pretty cool thing. They'll be either laying a bouquet or a wreath or something like that, honoring Martine and Patricia, which I think is just going to be a really special moment at the statue. We'll then also continue with a ribbon cutting of De Leon Plaza, just some more comments and celebration, and that should all end about 3 p.m. And then the market will go until 4. So about a 2-hour ceremony, just breaking in this piece that we're so proud of in Victoria. And so next I will break it to Keisha, who's done a tremendous job with the Bicentennial Ball, her and the committee. Can't say enough about what they've done. And to talk about the very fun evening we're going to have to close things off on April 13th.
Hey, hi. Good evening, Mayor and Council. I even took the mask off for you. So the evening of April 13th, after we've served the community in the morning and loved on some of our community members who maybe needed some extra care, and then came down to celebrate together and activate the plaza fully, we'll have an evening of dinner and dancing and drinks and performances. I have to throw that in. A lot of people have actually asked very clearly about what the bar situation will be. But we will have a ball at the community center. There will be a little bit smaller cocktail hour or cocktail moment that starts at 5:30 for our top sponsors and some of our elected officials that are coming in. And then at 6 p.m., we'll kick off our cocktail hour with some live performances from VISD student solos, ensembles, and bands, as well as a mariachi group that'll be out front. And then we move into a short program with dinner, and then it's just dancing and enjoying the evening. I do have to highlight the Nash Hernandez Orchestra out of San Antonio will be coming in as our main band for the evening. That's the confirmed one. A few of their members are from the Victoria area, and they are family members with the Cantu family, who's not ancestors, but older members were part of a band that wrote a song and performed a song about the Street of 10 Friends that'll be performed live for the very first time, and that's really exciting to see. I also want to thank all of our sponsors and ticket buyers. We have more than exceeded our goal in what we thought we were going to bring in, and as of right now, all of the tickets that we have remaining have already been committed to state officials and things who are coming in and just confirming their numbers. We're doing everything we can. I'm doing everything I can to try to see how we can expand, how we can allow more people to participate and be part of the celebration if they'd like to. But as of right now, we have 0 tickets left. So if you are listening to this or watching this and you have not reserved a seat or a table or a ticket and you would like more information, you can somehow contact me. But as of right now, just know that we are on hold for selling any more tickets as we have just about filled the dome. And otherwise, I'll turn it back to Joel.
And that is 600.
Oh, yes. Sorry, that is 601 right now.
Thank you.
Thank you, Keisha, and to the committee who've done just a wonderful job. And thank you all for who y'all nominated. They've done a great job for us. It's been a true, the spot. I'll say I've kind of sat in some of the sponsorship committee meetings, and they've just done a tremendous job. I mean, way over what I budgeted and thought we were going to get. So it's been a tremendous response.
Before you proceed, any comments, questions, concerns about anything that we're envisioning for that day?
You expect us to get up real early and do a lot of work and then try and dance? Woo.
Yes, we have high expectations, but you only turned 200 once.
Yeah. Well, I'm halfway there.
Well, just going to end the presentation now to talk a little bit about, a major project we've been working on, the tourism brand. Some of y'all have been seeing some of and I thank y'all for y'all's feedback and revisions. And I think we are very excited with what we'll be coming up with and coming out with as our new brand. So we should have the information from Mad Media pretty soon, but you can see that is our new name. Our new, the flower in the center is actually the same rose that we use in the bicentennial brand. So, of course, Victoria was known as the city of roses. We've done some research on that going back to the late 1880s when that was kind of coined by the Victoria Advocate. And it's something we kind of want to take ownership a little bit back again. Now you can see the color patterns is very vibrant. That's a brand mark right there. That's a secondary logo, things for social media or promo items. But again, that rose featured very heavily, different color configurations. It's just a lot of life to it, but it calls back to our history, but looking forward and what people can experience here now in Victoria. And of course, a tagline, True to Tejas, the blending of cultures, the founding of Victoria as the only Mexican colony in the original Mexican colonies, the De Leon legacy, and what you can see now in Victoria, and the culture and the food, music, everything coming together. We think that tagline really speaks to Victoria, the community that we want to invite everybody to. So a tourism brand launch would look like this. I've checked with Madden Media. We should be receiving the full branding kit by the end of this week, early next week. Then begins the long process of redesigning all of our materials with the City of Victoria, including working on our website redesign. You can see, of course, it includes a visitor guide, maps, all those kind of materials to be redesigned in line with the new branding. Spoken to our website maintainer, Sapphire, and if we, by March 22nd, have all our changes approved, it should be ready for a relaunch that website in May as they're working on all the background coding and everything to get that changed. Looking for early to mid-May for a launch party. So we'll definitely be sending out calendar invites for that, as well as a rollout of all the new materials. And then press release, and then just celebrating the new tourism brand and how we'll be promoting ourselves to our community and the rest of the state. And so before I continue, I just want to say, very exciting to announce here too. I know a lot of the community is wondering, a term we've used in our office in the city is not Boot Fest. It's not going to be called Not Boot Fest. And there's been a lot of desire in the community. I see on social media and stuff like, bring Boot Fest back or bring something back. So I'm happy to announce this evening that we are coming with a new festival. And there is a brand right there. We are still finalizing that logo, working on it. But this is Tejas Fest, much like the True to Tejas tagline. You can see that iconography there, that sort of Western imagery, the coloring along with the new vibrancy. And then you have the armadillo playing the guitar. That's paying homage to Armadillo Fest, which was, of course, a very popular festival back in the 70s, as well as a cowboy hat kind of evokes Boot Fest back in the day. This is but a new venture, a new festival for Victoria, and we couldn't be more excited about it. The dates will be October 4th and 5th, that Friday and Saturday of 2024. Excited to be using the new pavilion. I'm excited to not have to arrange to bring a stage in anymore, as I used to have to do with every year Boot Fest. So this is nice. So thank you to Main Street and Economic Development and everybody for making that happen. Also utilizing more space of downtown. I want to thank Mother Cluckers again. They've agreed to be our market and host vendors. And one of the things we used to hear back with the days of Boot Fest was downtown businesses were like, well, everybody just kind of stays on the square. We'd like to get some people through the door. So if we're spreading this event out, the vendors are a little more spread out down Main Street. I think you'll get a lot of movement around downtown. And then at night, the party moves back to De Leon Plaza for the main stage entertainers. One of my goals, too, with organizing this event is to have those essential festival elements without putting a lot of strain on city employees. So, for instance, the car show was always something that the city just organized, again, with the volunteer help. Spoken to Bobby Sparkman and his folks, Hot Rod Tour Texas, they've agreed to host a car show there in downtown. Again, with things like a cornhole tournament or things that add a lot of life and fun that aren't putting that onus on the city of Victoria to organize that. So again, that is our branding with the Armadillo paying homage to Armadillo Fest and everything like that, and the festivals before it, but starting off with a new brand and a new identity and something we just are very excited about. So,
Joel.
To
Yes.
be clear,
I think
that logo is not finalized.
Not finalized. Yes, I mentioned that.
Not finalized.
Still working on it.
And,
but that's
and we will purchase a armadillo mascot outfit that the mayor
will wear.
will,
I thought it was going to be Joel.
will wear.
Are we talking about Mayor Bauknight, former Mayor Bauknight? That's right. I'm sure he would love to.
Joel, I'm glad that you said that brand or whatever is not final yet, because I think the armadillo needs a rose sticker on his guitar.
That's a great point there. Yes, we're still working on it. Shout out to Building Brands. They've been doing, been getting all our feedback and everything like that. I like that suggestion. That's really neat. But again, very excited to be working towards this festival. We're already securing entertainment, have a couple of the headliners secured already, working our way down the list and things like that. This will be a free event for 2024 as a gift to the community, and then exploring what the festival looks like afterwards. But again, very excited about this event. And
in case you're wondering, the guitar is the official state musical instrument.
And the armadillo is the official state's, the small mammal of Texas.
One of them.
It's a small mammal.
One of them, yeah. It's
The longhorn's a big
That's
mammal.
right.
So it's not a longhorn, so you're fine, Duane.
Joel, I feel better about that. Thank you.
Joel, I love using the word Tejas, and I need to look it up, and you guys may have talked about it before, but the fact that it means friend, and then we have the street of 10 friends, it's just really cool.
Friend, we're a friendly community. I mean, it all just ties together.
Fantastic.
Very well done. I like it.
Like it.
All right. Thank you all very much. Appreciate your time this evening.
All right. Appreciate all y'all's work. You're doing a great job. Thank you.
Those are all the city manager's reports we have for this evening. We do have an executive session.
Very well. Well, then it is 6:19 and we will adjourn into executive session. First, we will take a 10-minute break. And
And I think April's got to read them, though.
The city council will recess for executive session on the 20th day of February 2024 at 6:19 PM. Subject matter includes deliberation on Texas Government Code 551.087, 551.072, 551.071, and 551.074.
his aunt, one of the guy's aunts lives here. He used to shop at the Rio Grande.
Came skirting in. I was like, oh, she made it good.